Hi boys and girls, and welcome to today's math lesson. Today we're going to be looking at lesson 4.5, multiply with 7. So let's take a look at our essential question. What strategies can you use to multiply with 7? If you have a highlighter handy, you can highlight that, or you can just underline it like I did with your pencil. All right, so let's get started. Unlock the problem. Jason's family has a new puppy. Jason takes a turn walking the puppy once a day. How many times will Jason walk the puppy in 4 weeks? So there's a lot of information here that we want to pull apart. First, let's look at our blue box to answer some questions. How often does Jason walk the puppy? If we go back to our word problem, it says right here, he walks the puppy once a day. So we're going to write that down, once a day. Okay, perfect. Then it says how many days are in 1 week? Well, let's see. Do you know? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 7 days in 1 week. So we're going to write 7 days. All right. Okay, so the question says how many times will Jason walk in 4 weeks? Okay, so we know that it's once a day, 4 weeks. There's 7 days in a week. That's where the 4 comes from, and that's where the 7 comes from. 4 weeks, 7 days. Okay? So there's a lot of different strategies that we can use when we're multiplying with 7, boys and girls. You see, 7 is a pretty big factor, and the bigger the factors get, the harder it gets to multiply if we don't know our facts memorized. So we have lots of different strategies you learned in chapters 3 and halfway through chapter 4. We've learned equal groups. We've learned how to do repeated addition. We've learned how to make arrays. We learned the commutative property, which is what we'll be talking about in just a minute. We also, in the last 2 days, have learned about the distributive property, and that's really helpful when those factors get larger, those numbers get larger, okay? So we want to talk about using the commutative property of multiplication. So this far, boys and girls, you should really start to focus on memorizing your facts, and that's why the commutative property comes in handy. You see, if you know 7 times 4, you can use the fact to find 4 times 7 and vice versa. So let's say you are working on memorizing your facts, but you're not quite at the 7s yet, but maybe you've already learned to multiply 4 times 7. Well, the commutative property or the flip-flop property tells us that we can put the factors in any order and they're still going to equal the same product. So, for example, if you know what 4 times 7 is, it's 28, then you use the commutative property, flip-flop the factors back to 7 times 4, and if 4 times 7 is 28, well then 7 times 4 is 28, because that's what the commutative property tells us, that no matter the order of the factors, the product will still be the same. So, Jason will walk the puppy 28 times in 4 weeks. Okay, not bad. So then the other way that we could solve this problem is by using the distributive property, which is what you have been working on the last 2 days prior. So first it tells us step 1, complete the array to show 4 rows of 7. Okay, so they already did the 4 rows, and then there are 7 in each row, and we're going to go ahead and complete that array. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, so the important thing when we're drawing in arrays or making our own arrays is that our counters line up the best we can. We try our very best to get them even. That makes it easier for us to work with an array if everything is nice and even as possible. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect because you can see mine's not perfect, but I tried to be as even as possible. So step 2, let's draw a line to break apart the array. So I am going to go ahead and draw my line. I'm going to go vertically, okay? That means up and down. I'm going to go vertically. And another good thing to remember, boys and girls, when we're doing the distributive property is to try to break it apart using factors that are easy to multiply. So for example, I'm going to actually, I know I have a row of 4, and I'm going to go over 5 more counters so that I break my array apart right here, okay? That means that my first array is going to be 4 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 4 rows of 5 because for me, 4 times 5 is easy to multiply. I know that I could just count by 5 4 times. So let's do that. 5, Oh, let me hide one finger. Sorry, start again. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 5 times 4 is 20. That's easy, okay? Some of you might not even have to count by fives. You might already have that memorized. Then that leaves us with this smaller array. So this one is 4 times 5. And then it leaves us with this smaller array, which is 4 times 2. 4 times 2. And that's easy because we have multiplying by 2s. We just do double stacks, okay? So 4 times 2, and that's 8. Good. So now we just take our two products, the 20 and the 8, and we just add them together. 20 plus 8, and we get no regrouping necessary, so 20 plus 8 is 28. So 4 times 7 is 28. And if we look up here, the products match because we did it correctly. All right, so those are two strategies that you can use. You can also continue to use equal groups if that's helpful, or repeated addition as well. All right, boys and girls, hope you have fun multiplying with 7.